parents don't believe that their son committed this crime. I was like, huh? Excuse me? That's a far cry from what the media has been telling us. Remember, the media presented this amazing story. The father realized his son was guilty, so it goes, right? And then he phoned over a friend to help him convince his son to turn himself in, because this guy, this mysterious guy was a friend and just had a connection with Tyler. And eventually they said, you've got to do the right thing here. We know this is you. That was the vibe. Certainly that's what the media was putting down for us to pick up. Well, I was told actually that it was kind of the opposite. That quote unquote family friend, who we learned was a former detective with the police force, at least, and so therefore has strong ties with the police station, informed the family. It was that in-between person that informed the family that Tyler had been identified as the shooter. He recognized him. He knows Tyler. He gives them the heads up. And then I'm told, and I believe this, that the way in which he got arrested, or rather turned himself in, was because that family friend slash neighbor slash former detective told him, hey, it's best for you to turn yourself in because there's only one of two options here. Either you turn yourself in and everything is peaceable, or, the SWAT team could come in here and arrest you and things would get crazy. So that's what happened. He went over to their house. Tyler was called over. Tyler was bewildered. He disputed the idea that he had murdered Charlie Kirk. In fact, according to my source, Tyler has never even stepped foot on UVU campus. Tyler, it turns out, which has already been revealed, was accepted into Utah State University, not Utah Valley. And that's actually interesting if you pause and reflect on that, because we didn't really consider how on earth Tyler became not just familiar with the layout of the campus, but familiar with the rooftop layout of UVU campus. So familiar that he knew exactly how to scale across the rooftops to duck down in order to take an almost impossible shot at a Charlie Kirk who was sitting beneath a tent. How did he know how to do all of that? Had he been there before? That he knew where Charlie was going to be sitting and that he would have that shot from on top of the Losey Center? What? Right? I would actually, and I don't know, but I would imagine that even actual current UVU students don't know that possibility. Like, they're not even that familiar with how to scale the rooftops and what shots they can take from it. We'll see.
The Charlie Kirk assassination case has gripped the nation and left more questions than answers. From the very beginning, the public was told a simple story. Tyler Robinson, the man accused of pulling the trigger, was quickly identified, arrested, and charged. Case closed. Or so it seemed, but now, disturbing new revelations suggest the story we've been fed is far from the truth. Behind the headlines, behind the courtroom drama, lies a web of inconsistencies and unanswered questions. The FBI claims to have all the evidence, crystal clear audio files from the event, detailed ballistic tests, and hours of high-definition surveillance footage. Yet, none of it has ever been released to the public. Not one audio clip, not one verified analysis, nothing. Why would an agency with every tool to prove guilt or innocence choose silence? What are they protecting? And most importantly, who are they protecting? Tonight, we're breaking down the chilling possibility that Tyler Robinson was never the assassin at all, but merely a decoy in a much bigger, darker cover-up. And if that's true, it means the real shooter is still free. Stay with me, because by the end of this breakdown, you'll see why the official story doesn't add up and why this case might be one of the biggest cover-ups of our time.
Extensive and exhaustive investigation, and I can only speak from the FBI's perspective, that is still ongoing. We are still triaging voluminous amounts of data. We're still interrogating numerous witnesses, and we're going into devices such as cell phones and laptops and extracting data. And so that's the expertise of the FBI that we're bringing and working with our state and local partners. And as we get information that is of value, we turn it over immediately to the prosecutorial authorities for them to make their decision.
The FBI admits to having collected advanced acoustic data and hours of high-definition surveillance from the Charlie Kirk assassination scene. In fact, according to multiple internal reports, every angle was covered microphones embedded in the venue, CCTV footage across nearby streets, even satellite-linked communications data. With today's forensic tools, investigators can use these assets to pinpoint the exact location of a shooter within seconds. Acoustic triangulation could have told us if the shot came from inside the building, from the crowd, or from an elevated position nearby. High-definition surveillance could have identified the rifle, the shooter's movements, and even the trajectory of each bullet. Ballistic tests could have confirmed whether the weapon presented in court truly fired the fatal round, but none of this information has ever been made public. Court filings remain heavily redacted. Evidence logs are sealed under national security exceptions. Requests from journalists, attorneys, and even independent researchers have been denied or ignored. And so, the public is left with nothing but speculation and fragments, forced to piece together what the FBI already knows in full detail. If Tyler Robinson is truly guilty, the evidence should make that clear beyond any doubt. So why hide it? And if he's innocent, why silence the facts that could clear his name? This silence isn't just unusual, it's suspicious. It fuels the growing belief that the official story is being carefully managed, and that the truth may be far more dangerous than we've been told. Then, there's the rifle, the so-called murder weapon. In the official reports, investigators presented a single, neatly cataloged firearm, displayed as if the case was clear and closed. But the internet has a long memory, and social media has not been so forgiving. Across Reddit threads, TikTok breakdowns, and Twitter posts, multiple images of this alleged weapon have surfaced. And they don't match. Some rifles appear with deep scratches and worn metal. Others look nearly pristine. One photo shows a scope attachment, another shows the exact same rifle without it. Even the colors seem inconsistent. In some pictures, the rifle appears matte black, in others it carries a faint grayish tone. Forensic firearm experts online have pointed out that no two rifles should look this different if they were seized, tagged, and stored as one single piece of evidence. Yet the discrepancies are undeniable. TikTok videos zoom in on missing serial number placements. Reddit users highlight subtle differences in the handguard and stock. One viral Twitter thread simply asked, "Which rifle killed Charlie Kirk?" because these are not the same. If the FBI truly has the original weapon, why do we see at least 3 different versions floating across official and leaked images? Was the rifle tampered with after the fact? Was it swapped out? Or worse, was it staged entirely? This is the heart of the rifle mystery. A single gun should solve a case. Instead, multiple conflicting rifles have only deepened the doubts and left the public wondering if the evidence itself has been manipulated. Every bullet fired from a high-powered rifle leaves behind a signature, an acoustic fingerprint known as the supersonic cone. This sound, traveling faster than the speed of sound itself, is easily captured by modern recording equipment. With just 2 or 3 audio sources, forensic analysts can map the exact location, distance, and even angle of the shooter. This isn't fringe science. It's a method widely used in military investigations, federal cases, and even civilian courtrooms. Acoustic triangulation has solved sniper cases, battlefield disputes, and assassination attempts around the world. It's reliable, proven, and nearly impossible to fake. And yet, in the Charlie Kirk case, not a single supersonic cone analysis has been released or even mentioned in official filings. Despite the fact that microphones were present at the venue, despite witnesses reporting distinct sound differences, the FBI has stayed completely silent on the matter. On Reddit and Twitter, armchair analysts have taken it into their own hands. They've dissected cell phone recordings frame by frame, noting how echoes bounced off walls, how the crowd reacted in different directions, and how the timing of shots doesn't match the official story. TikTok users have posted side-by-side comparisons of the audio, suggesting that 2 distinct sound profiles were heard that day, profiles that point to more than one possible shooter. The absence of an official analysis raises one chilling question. If the FBI already has the tools and data to prove exactly where the shots came from, why haven't they used them, or shown the results? The answer may be simple, because the truth doesn't align with the narrative they've already sold to the public. Instead of closing the case, the missing supersonic cone analysis has become one of the biggest cracks in the official story, a silence louder than the gunshots themselves. While the FBI remains silent, social media has become a living archive of what actually happened that day. Viral TikTok clips, Twitter threads, and Reddit deep dives show bystanders reacting almost instantly, ducking, shouting, and pointing moments before the fatal shot. Many of these videos suggest that the shooter was much closer to the crowd than Tyler Robinson's alleged position, raising serious questions about the official timeline. Reddit users have meticulously broken down frame-by-frame video analysis. One thread compared multiple angles, noting discrepancies in shadows, footsteps, and crowd movement. TikTok creators slowed down clips to isolate gunshot echoes, concluding that at least two distinct sound patterns were present, patterns inconsistent with a single shooter standing where Robinson supposedly was. Witnesses' accounts echo this digital evidence. Several bystanders reported hearing sharp, immediate shots as if the shooter was inside the room with them. Others claimed they saw someone near a stairwell or balcony, someone not identified in any official report. These testimonies have been widely shared online, with hashtags like #ReleaseTheEvidence, #JusticeForKirk, and #HiddenTruth trending repeatedly on X Twitter. Even casual viewers have joined the investigation. Social media forums are now filled with discussions about bullet trajectories, the crowd's reaction time, and inconsistencies in the official narrative. Some users have compiled evidence boards, connecting leaked photos, audio snippets, and eyewitness accounts, forming a puzzle that appears far more complex than the authorities admit. All of this raises a critical point when witnesses, bystanders, and online analysts independently converge on the same inconsistencies. The official story begins to crumble. The public isn't just speculating, they are reconstructing events the FBI refuses to disclose, and in doing so, they're exposing a glaring question. If Tyler Robinson was truly the shooter, why does every piece of social media evidence contradict the official timeline? As the pieces fall into place, a chilling possibility emerges: Tyler Robinson may never have been the shooter at all. Instead, he could have been a carefully chosen decoy, a man placed in the narrative to distract the public, while the real assassin remains free. Leaked testimonies circulating online now suggest that Robinson wasn't even at the critical location when the shots were fired. Witnesses who initially reported seeing him near the scene later admitted confusion under stress, and some social media investigators have pieced together conflicting timelines that show gaps in his reported movements. Meanwhile, the supposed physical evidence attributed to him, rifles, fingerprints, and ballistic matches, carries inconsistencies. Multiple versions of the weapon have surfaced, and surveillance footage remains sealed, leaving only speculation. Every discrepancy fuels the idea that Robinson may have been a convenient scapegoat, someone whose presence could satisfy the public's demand for answers without revealing the real perpetrator. Social media users are already piecing together a broader theory. Hashtags like #TylerRobinsonDecoy and #Who Really Shot Kirk trend daily, with threads mapping movements, analyzing timestamps, and highlighting overlooked witness statements. TikTok creators have overlaid video evidence with animated reconstructions, showing scenarios where Robinson's position could not have allowed him to take the fatal shot. If Tyler Robinson is indeed a decoy, it raises uncomfortable questions about the agencies involved, the courtroom narrative, and the flow of information to the public. Who benefits from painting him as the shooter? Who stands to gain from keeping the truth hidden? And most importantly, if the decoy theory is correct, how many more secrets are buried in this case? The implications are staggering. This isn't just a trial about one man, it's potentially a cover-up, carefully orchestrated to protect the true perpetrator and control the story that the world sees. The Charlie Kirk assassination case is no longer just about one man, one rifle, or one shocking crime. It has become a story of unanswered questions, hidden evidence, and growing doubt. The FBI claims to have all the tools: high-definition surveillance, acoustic data, ballistic evidence, but nothing has been released. Court filings remain heavily redacted, and key reports, like the supersonic cone analysis, are nowhere to be found. Mismatched rifles, conflicting witness accounts, and social media investigations paint a very different picture from the official narrative. Eyewitnesses, TikTok analysts, Reddit sleuths, and Twitter threads all converge on one chilling possibility. Tyler Robinson was merely a decoy, a convenient scapegoat, while the real shooter remains free. The silence from the authorities isn't just a void, it's a glaring spotlight on inconsistencies that cannot easily be ignored. Every unanswered question, every sealed piece of evidence, every viral video pointing to discrepancies, adds weight to the theory that the public is not being told the whole truth. And so we are left with a haunting question. If Tyler Robinson is just a decoy, then who is the real assassin? And why is the truth being hidden? This case, already shocking, may be far more complex and far more sinister than anyone imagined. The story isn't over. The leaks will continue. And one day the truth may finally come to light. Until then, the Charlie Kirk assassination remains a puzzle, one where the pieces we've been given may not even belong to the real picture.